I'm sitting here watching some old school style cash days racing on YouTube. Bunch of guys go out with their cars and place like $250 bets and do like a little unsanctioned quarter-mile drag out in the middle of nowhere. But out of the corner of my eye, I keep seeing something. There's this little tree that's trying to grow. Right out here, there's this little maple thing, and it's about the same height as a person, and it keeps blowing around in the breeze and catching the corner of my eye. I'm pretty hyper aware of things going on around me, and when I see movement that's about the same height as a person, it always grabs my attention. So I think I'm gonna go out there and try to rip that thing out of the ground. It's growing out of the flower bed, which I don't think is very compacted. There's bark dust and stuff. It is getting a little bit big, but I'm just gonna try and rip it out of the ground and see if I can do that. Okay, so it's not a maple. I'm not sure what it is, but it's very firmly rooted in the ground, so we're gonna need some reinforcements. I'll just leave those there for the landscapers to take care of. Yeah, that should be better. Okay, so I've been daily driving this Quantum Forefront for a couple of weeks now. By the way, I'm over here, see off in the distance. I think this might actually be my favorite chair that I've had so far. The suspension's really good. You gotta go full speed to take advantage of it. This is a pretty bumpy front yard, and it is still not the smoothest thing in the world, but this chair handles it in a way that's much better than everything else. I mean, it is sort of pitching me back and forth and vibrating my hand off the joystick a little bit, but it's doing it in a way that's much less abrupt than other chairs that I've had out here before. And I see my feet have slid forward on the foot plates just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. For a general all-purpose like indoor-outdoor chair, this thing is probably one of the better ones I've had. I mean, all their problems aside, I'm gonna have to get all the issues fixed with it that it's having. I think I'm gonna be replacing the motors and the main controller again on it. I mean, it is nice that it has some lights on it at least. These little lights, I mean, they're not very bright, but they're better than nothing. I'm going to be installing my own lights. I've got some little bullet style lights that go down here that are actually fairly small. And also on the back here, it has these little red reflectors. If you look down here on the bottom of the power base, there's these like 4 little red squares. Those are actually little plastic pieces that are held in with screws. And you can pop those out, and I'm going to drill a little hole in there. I've got some little red, they claim to be 9 watts. I think they're more like 3 watts, but these super bright LEDs that are built onto a bolt, and they're weather sealed. So I'm going to stick a couple of those in there, so we'll have a nice amount of light behind me, and it's bright enough that if I'm going down the sidewalk or the street in the dark, people are going to see it and be like, oh, what is that? It's bright. And that's the idea, is being able to be seen. But I'm going to have to wait until all these other issues get taken care of before I can do any mods on this chair, because they've basically told me that I can't do any mods to this chair or any of my, basically touch anything on it. Otherwise, they said they will not work on the chair or touch it. So I'm gonna wait until all this stuff's been taken care of. Then I'll be able to do my own mods on it. After they do this next round of repairs on it, I'm not gonna take it back in, barring any catastrophic faults, like, you know, motors completely crapping out or anything. Tired of screwing around. I'm just going to buy parts on eBay. I'm still waiting to get the leg rest taken care of. I went to see a physical therapist the other day. She was like, oh, I don't know if the insurance company is going to go for, you know, changing things. They don't like to buy new parts, especially on a brand new chair. And it's like, well, look, when I elevate my legs, my knees are way up in the air. So she was saying they needed medical justification and all this stuff. It's like, they already have it. I ordered the chair. I had justification for power legs, and I basically don't have them because I can't use them right now. So if I need to elevate my legs, which I do several times a day, I hop into a different chair to do that. Kind of annoying, but this chair was built for me. It's comfortable. It's got the proper backrest and cushion now. I know it is possible to get one of these chairs that doesn't have the assembly issues, because the first one I had was pretty much fine. But we'll get it all ironed out eventually. But I am actually using this chair now. Actually, let's see how many miles are on it. It usually takes about 50 miles to break in the motors. Let's see here. The only way to do this is to switch over to the odometer and then go back to the home screen. So I've got 24 miles on it now. But I really do like the thing. I am keeping it, and I'm going to make it work, even if I have to do all the stuff myself, as far as adding different bushings or, I don't know, whatever. I just want to give you a little update on that. You saw me using it in the backyard, sawing down that tree that was growing, so I figured I'd go over at least some of the things, and yes, I do really like the chair. Quantum and Pride, not a fan. And I know several people that work in the industry, and they just absolutely dread having to call Pride or Quantum's tech support or customer service. It's just, it's one of those things. If you get a chair that is built well and it's not going to be an issue, you never have to talk to them, so it should be fine. And that's what the DMEs do. If you go in for repairs, they're the ones that have to deal with it. So as the end user, you shouldn't have to worry about it in theory. But it's one of those things where there's a lot of things you have to deal with, but I'm sort of brushing that all aside because I do really like the chair. So anyways, yes, and I'm all fancy and domesticated. I've got a roast in the slow cooker. What is this? We're hunting for some trails today. I think they're across the street here. Now, according to this, part of the trails are finished and part of them are not. And according to the map, this is considered unfinished. So I'm not sure how far down here we're going to be able to get. Getting back up this should be fine. But yeah, we're going to have to be careful down here. Looks like if we go down here and go to the right is the finished trail. By the way, we're using the forefront today. Uh-oh. Well, that was quick. Apparently we ain't going this way. Let me look at the map and see if there's another entrance somewhere. Looks like about 2 miles south of here there's another entrance, so I guess we'll go down there. This creek is on the map, hence the bridge. But yeah, I guess we'll go park down there and see if we can come up from the bottom side. The map is showing those trails down there are unfinished though, and if this is what they're calling finished, then I'm not sure how that's going to be. So let's head back to the van. This thing seems to be doing pretty well on this sandy gravel. Alright, well, we've made it to the lower part of the trail. Based on these switchbacks, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is probably pretty steep. And this first part's gravel, and usually when you see sharp corners like this, it means they're trying to go along the ridge line of the trail. Now, this looks like it's all gravel out here, and over there it's pretty loose. The trail we're going to is actually right behind us. It starts over there. So I don't know. I'm not too hopeful for this, but I'll check it out at least. So I'm watching people walking up this trail, and I can tell that it is ridiculously steep. We're gonna go around this first corner right here and just take a look, but I'm about 95% sure that I'm not gonna be able to get up there. I mean, to right there, they're easily like 150 feet of elevation. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this. There's another trail at the other end of the parking lot. There's a summit trail, and then there's a loop that goes around the edge of this place. So let's check out this other one. I think this one just connects to the apartments over here. No, maybe not. It looks like it goes somewhere. Or it goes straight back to the parking lot. Yep, goes back to the parking lot. Yeah, it's looking like this place is not going to be accessible at all, which kind of sucks. I was hoping to find something else around here that is. I mean, you can, by the way, for people that complain about me showing my phone screen, you can just skip forward a few seconds. But yeah, it's a pretty big like nature preserve, and there's a fair amount of trails going through here, but they're all pretty steep. So anyways, I guess I'll have to look at some satellite maps and try to find another spot. I'm just sort of exploring different areas and trying to find trails that could potentially be traversed in a wheelchair. I mean, the forefront, it's been doing fairly good on this loose gravel and stuff. The traction control it has is sort of interesting. It actually allows the tires to spin, so that actually helps in a lot of situations. But anyways, I'll see if I can find something else to go check out. Well, it would appear as though this place is closed. They got it all taped off. Okay, well, I think I'm done for the day. We'll find some other places to go check out trails later on. I do believe I have formulated a plan for this thing. I was originally going to put that remote control power wheelchair base under here and extend it out and cut out the floor and do all this stuff. But I got to realizing that I think I can use these flat surfaces here, basically remove these wheels. And then I've got remnants of another power wheelchair base over here. I did some cleaning in here and disassembled a few power chair bases and basically consolidated all the parts into some crates. So I think what I'm going to do, these are still attached to the motor so you can't see them. Oh yeah, there we go. Fizzang! So these are small motors off of, well, sort of a hover around style chair that uses this controller. I think we repaired this controller in a previous video. But I think what I'm going to do is just mount these. Yeah, there you can see. We've got a flat mounting surface on top of these, and I think what I'm going to do is basically just attach these right here. I might need to add a little plate here. This plastic is fairly thick, so since there's not going to be any weight in this thing, I could potentially just pick up like 2 or 4 of the holes, and then we'll just mount the rest of the electronics in here. I think that's going to be a lot easier. Over the next couple days, I'm going to kind of work out how I'll be assembling that thing and kind of mocking it up and putting it together. Once I get it mostly done, I'll pick up the camera again and show what I've done and how I've accomplished it. But I think it's going to make a really long video, and I'm probably going to be changing things constantly. So I'm going to get most of it done, and then I'll just show you guys how I accomplished it. Because I'm staying in the house a lot more now, apparently everyone is a neurologist or a pulmonologist in the comment section. I knew that previous video was going to get some interesting comments, and a good friend of mine warned me not to read the comments, but for some reason, well, there was a fairly substantial number of things where people are just basically like, well, your doctors are wrong, you can't argue, blah, 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 this and that. So, whatever. My takeaway from all of that in the most recent video about me covering my face and doing stuff like that was I'm going to have to just avoid larger places for now. This is going to be a long-term problem, I believe. I thought originally, well, we'll be over in a few months. Ain't going to happen. A number of people actually commented with an idea that I have been working on, and that's to get some cheapo CPAP machine or something like that. They make these little portable battery-powered ones that are about this big, and basically just use a full face mask and use that to lightly pressurize, or at least enough to get oxygen flow and enough pressure so that the valves will work. So I haven't really gone into details too much, but at some point I am going to have to wear a non-invasive ventilator mask most of the time. And we're trying to push that back and put it off as long as possible. But when that day does come, I always wanted to build one of those like Bane style masks or something like that. So I think this might be a good time to start playing around with that. I could wear a face mask and then put some sort of like bandana or something over the top of it. I don't know. I'll figure something out. Because right now, I can get probably 6 to 8, maybe 10 hours before I have to hook up to my ventilator. And there's a lot of misconceptions running around. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, I have asthma, and, you know, I can do this, and my oxygen levels don't drop, or, you know, I only have 10% use of my lungs, and, you know, you can talk a lot better than I can, and all this. Well, the thing is, there's a lot of different conditions that has to do with breathing. And in my case, yes, I can talk for extended periods, and my lungs are weak. Like, I have trouble getting air in, but that has nothing to do with the issue of the way my lungs are able to extract oxygen and transfer the gas between the waste gas after you've breathed in and out. And your lung muscles essentially have nothing to do with that. Anyways, I'm gonna have to come up with some sort of solution. And as a number of people have reminded me, I keep forgetting I can just build stuff sometimes. I'll be like, oh man, I gotta go buy something. Oh wait, I can just make something. So we're gonna play around with that a little bit more. I don't know if that'll be a video or not, but all that being said, I'm avoiding the general population at this point, and I want to, there seems to be a lot of hostility out there just in general, and I understand it. Everyone's been cooped up inside for a while, and, you know, when they go out in public, who's to say who has what rights? I understand that. And, you know, if you're not able to comply with what everyone is accepting is the solution, again, all science and everything aside, I'm just going based on the social implications of this, it's going to cause a lot more problems. And I don't want to take this stuff head on right now. I think it's best to just kind of back up and, well, I'm inventing problems, obviously. And because I'm inventing these problems, I'm still not going to wear something over my face, and I'm going to stay at home and avoid people because all that logic clicks, right? Sorry, I just get frustrated with this stuff. I mean, I know a large portion of my audience, you know, has to deal with using a wheelchair, and my arm's getting tired, and going out in public and all that stuff. But again, things are just really weird right now, and there is a time where it's better not to battle everyone and do what you need to do, and that's what I'm doing. So, I've got this Power Wheels remote control thing I've been wanting to do forever, and I already made a video about it, part 1. So, this will give me a couple of days of stuff to work on, and we're going to do that. My coping mechanism is staying busy. Even at the detriment to being exhausted from working too much, That's still what I do. But anyways, I think that's it for now. Something, internet, whatever. I'll see you guys in a few days.